The mixer tap, generally one of Britain's best inventions that seems to have passed it by. Now, there are a couple of reasons for this, so let's look into them. It mainly goes back to how houses were built after World War II and how they were constructed. Firstly, you have two taps, the cold and the hot. The cold tap is fed from the cold water storage tank, which is normally located in the attic in most British houses that are fairly old and, as I said, constructed after World War II. That cold water storage tank in turn feeds the hot water storage tank that's used for the hot water and central heating. Now, that water might not necessarily be counted as drinking water, though we would for most cold waters, like taps and most things that use cold water. And the reason for this is that it goes sort of into the technical side, because if for some reason the water in the hot water storage tank, which has not been treated, goes into the cold water storage tank, that will contaminate every single water that it hasn't touched already. It will be cross-contaminated and it will go on to contaminate the rest of the street or the rest of the water system, which is not legal, so therefore you shouldn't see any mixer taps. Nowadays, of course, it's a little bit different. Most new houses have shiny bits of technology that heats up water on demand, which is fairly okay for the houses of our era. But what water is counted as drinking water? So, the regulations are clear that the cold water, because it's been treated in the treating plant and it's been pumped to the tank through the ground, away from any danger and into your home, that counts as drinking water. The regulations call it wholesome, by the way. And then you have almost certainly safe, but not quite, not legally, not technically under the regulations, hot water. And you don't cross the streams. But of course, with the technology that heats up water on demand, it doesn't really matter, because all new built houses go that way, and they've got mixer taps, and it should all be fine. But people who have been told as a kid, never drink from a hot water tap, they will most likely just go to the tap and run the hot water for a few seconds, and the cold even, in a mixer tap, just in case that anything unsafe has come out of it. Because, for all you know, that failure might have actually happened. The valve that stops all the hot water going into the cold water again once it's hot could fail, and that would prove it. That's the mixer tap, and that is something you might not have known.